culture. We know what it means in everyday life, but how about in business? Siemens Financial Services have seen their profits rise as a result of implementing cultural change in the way they operate. Let's go and find out more about their success story. In 2012, Siemens Financial Services was doing well. It had the balance sheet to prove it. It had vision and a strategy to build its business. But an employment engagement survey measuring how involved staff felt in the organisation revealed one rather neglected asset: its people. There was a culture gap, with staff failing to communicate fully and wary of bringing up their own ideas. Here was an opportunity to change all that to benefit everyone, and Siemens Financial Services ran with it.
There was the massive challenge from the global CEO of can you change the business, can you double the size of the business, something that had never been contemplated before. That was obviously going to require a different frame of reference for us, a new way of thinking, a new way of adopting ideas that previously would have been dismissed. Whilst I knew I wanted to unlock it, I didn't know how. My HR business partner said that for you to get the organisation to deal with its vulnerabilities, you must, as a team, demonstrate your own vulnerabilities. And we went through a painful process of doing exactly that, which unlocked that next level of dialogue. And that dialogue was about what do we fear, why we don't have the confidence to speak out, why we don't feel like we own the business even though we wish to.
We abandoned the idea of sort of death by PowerPoint presentations just on the numbers. There was obviously, keynote conversations about how we were performing, but we were trying to get under the skin of how we made things change for the better. So, for example, we had the first summit was really around themed around the elephant in the room.
My topic was the fear factor of what James is going to think if things go wrong. So it's not that people see him walking down the hallway and scatter. It's just the fear of what would go wrong and what he would say about that.
That broke the dam, and then other people were able to stand up and explain where they think the organisation was failing, where their faith or the trust and the openness wasn't existing where they were, and that held them back in their job. And then we had this dialogue, the one I was hoping to crack.
It really was inspirational in the fact that it got people thinking about what we could do to move things forward, what the challenges to the business were and how we could try and affect that.
The challenge was to create a new culture of trust and to get everyone thinking about a new way of working.
So the culture change for this business is focused on our trust. How much do we listen to our colleagues and how much do we pay attention to the needs of each other, and do we really trust what everyone is saying? We want to encourage challenge, making people feel confident that they can have a voice and speak up. And we really want to ensure that we get people thinking differently. We want people to use their brains at work and have the confidence to think differently when at the moment maybe sometimes people feel limited by that. And we really want to create a really positive way we work. And we want people to determine that from the inside of the organisation rather than waiting for a set of rules to inform them.
Everyone was encouraged to think about the initiative, to work together as one team with one ambition to grow the business.
They created their own charter of behaviour. I've never seen, independent of a senior leadership team, at a relatively early stage in a journey like this, a group of people, and we're talking about sort of 30 odd people from sort of 4 different countries, decide that we need to create this pact with ourselves of how we will behave.
The changes implemented weren't about how hard people worked, but the way they worked. A new code of conduct was introduced, and this document, The Way We Worked, outlined how people could improve communication and their interaction, how the working environment could be improved. It encouraged respect and trust, and so confidence.
The challenges were getting stuff down on paper that was meaningful for everybody, regardless of their role. Regardless of their seniority, regardless of their nationality, because we're a region of more than one country. So we took a bit of time refining that, but people of all roles and seniorities and countries signed up to it.
We wanted to consider what would be desirable behaviours, and really and truly, if you think about it, it's an old-fashioned concept of almost treating other people as you'd like to be treated yourself. But it's down in writing in various sort of sections. It's a great aspiration to have as a business.
Under the new culture of openness, staff came up with their own initiatives, including Wednesday workshops, Lean In and the Red Arrows debrief.
The Wednesday workshops run for just an hour over lunchtime, and they're welcome to everybody from all over the business, however senior you are, however junior you are. And we invite managers and other people from the business to come in and to present on what their team or their department does, how they work, what they do.
So we use either large-scale leadership summits or small intimate leadership events called Lean In, and we are trying to encourage people to think well beyond what they currently do at the moment. And some circa 5 events later, we're now got 150 people that are interested in our forum. We regularly hold events for 80 people. None of us are skilled presenters. We're doing this because we genuinely have a passion to encourage people to lead. And we're doing it in a really diverse way. We're helping our colleagues in Finland, we're helping our colleagues in Sweden, and we're supporting people to try and start those discussions to think differently about what your leadership can look like.
First lady within the Red Arrows was invited to be a guest speaker, and so she spoke about her time there and raised this debrief element that they do before and after flights. And after she spoke about it, it was kind of, the idea was we can implement that here at Siemens, and what can we do? So following what they do after every flight, which is a full debrief of what's happened, what's good, what's bad, what could have been improved, we decided that we'd start to use that and put that in here. And yeah, in all, I think it's a really good tool, and everyone seems to be quite enjoying it, and the buzzword of it being a Red Arrows and stuff is quite exciting. And having now started in the Nordics, it's great. Hopefully it can take flight over there as well, so it'll be good.
Events such as OC Island in 2014 further developed an upward thinking culture and ownership in the business's success.
We had one session called Fireplace, where we were sitting around the fireplace and we had to open our hearts to tell our colleagues one personal insight who has changed our life and one job challenge that had changed our job. And I learned a lot of my colleagues that I didn't know before. And I think it's important in Region North, who is such a big and complex region. We have a very big region from Bristol up to Umeå in Sweden. And now I feel that I know my colleagues much more than before.
With offices throughout Northern Europe, the new culture helps to bring everyone together.
I think the main thing is that the initiative is trying to empower people to make decisions, to seek out for collaborations, and to constantly improve the daily work and take ownership for it as well.
No, I agree. It's all about communications and to get people more interacting with each other.
At a time when worldwide financial institutions have faced their worst ever crisis, SFS has seen growth, and staff believe a good part of that success is down to the cultural changes in the way they now work.
The culture we've created here is one where sales and risk can have proper collaborative conversations, can challenge one another in a way that maintains respect and is characterised by openness and honesty. And that really does benefit the quality of what we get in risk, which means we can turn around deals more quickly, and very often we'll get to a favourable decision more often, which benefits the customer experience, which has to be good for all of us.
But it's just got better and better, and people just really want to get involved with business. And I think on the whole, people are far more engaged today than what they were before.
For me, it's part of the DNA of the business. It cannot stop. It is an evolving process, and it's something that will continue.
I think it makes people feel more valued, empowered within their working time, and more confident. My team before wouldn't have gone out and just challenged other people to join in on what we're doing, and now they do. They want to spread the word because they see the benefits of it.
I think people are working together much better, and obviously that's going to have a big impact on our customers.
It isn't just about strategy or process or guidelines. It is only people that make the difference. It's the service sector. I manufacture nothing other than service. people deliver that service. People are what make the difference to our customers. Cultural change and the culture is what is reflected in all of my staff. And that culture is that energy, it's that passion, it's that drive, it's that self-belief that customers find, I think, inspiring, and inspires them enough to stay with us, to pay premiums for our services, and most importantly, engage us in a way that will provide that success on a continuous basis. It's upon that basis, that long-term thinking, that counter-cyclical need to be as successful as we are today for the cycle, that makes the difference. And culture beats strategy any day of the week.